Nothing prepared me for what I was going to see, because I was expecting to see destruction, but I was not expecting to see everything wiped out, wiped clean.
When we pulled into the village, the first thing I did was I just closed my eyes and thanked God for everything that I had in my life, and I really felt humbled.
I wasn't prepared for the amount of devastation, and in talking to Kevin, who ran the camp down there, he said, you know, there's 160 miles of coastline that has been totally destroyed.
I think what struck me the first night we went into the village is that you see the images on TV of the children in the villages with the dirt roads and the trash and the huts and the raw sewage. You see that on TV and you're touched. But when you go there and you drive into the village, the first night we drove in, and you see it, and I think when we were driving in, I remember the van got very quiet. So we're staring out the windows and not believing what we're seeing. But you see it and you hear it and you smell it, and I think you're changed.
I think when we live in a small world, and I grew up in a small hometown in a small community, you just think of that. When you start looking around, you realize, you know, there are people all over the world who are going through the same emotions that we are going, who have similar problems on different scales that we all have. And we are not all that different from each other, you know, whether we are white Americans or Indians or Guatemalans or whatever. And we all need the same God.
In our study guide, the one question was, did you ever think about that these are God's children and why they were born where they were born and why you're born where you're born? That really struck me, and I've really spent a lot of time with that.
The world needs us as Christians, as disciples. And that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to be the arms and the legs and the eyes and the ears of Christ, and then, of course, His voice. And to be able to speak our testimony, even if it's the person that's behind the quick mark counter, we can have an impact.
Without churches stepping up and taking charge and getting out, in the way it is, it's going to be years before they're back. But without us, it'd never happen. They've got the money for the timber, and they've got the money for the electrical. They don't have the money for the labor. And if we can make that happen, we should be doing that. That's our purpose.
You don't need special talent. You don't need anything other than a willingness to serve the Lord. And He does all the work. And here I was presenting the gospel in 10 minutes, and to have them accept the Lord and visibly be moved by the Spirit, it absolutely blew me away.
For me, I saw Matthew 25:40 in a whole different light. As you've done it to the least of these, you've done it unto me.
You can make a difference, and it doesn't have to be a world-stopping difference. I mean, it's just the smallest things. And I'd say I now realize that little me's can make a big difference in the big world.
It all fills a need, and it's what God would want us to do. This is what Jesus did. I mean, He spent His time around people that needed help, and that's what we need to do.